Let's talk a little bit about the IRS. They're heading right into tax season, which, is there an official start to tax season? What's the first day you can file?
Oh,
Is it February 1st?
yeah, I think so. I don't actually know, but they are heading right to
January
that,
23rd today.
So what they are doing is they are in the process of trying to ramp up customer service agent hiring, because right now if you try to call the IRS, you get stuck with very long waits. Last year, just as an example, there were 173 million calls that were placed to the IRS by individuals. Only 13% of them actually reached a representative, and the average hold time was 29 minutes.
Yeah, if you have not experienced this yet,
Now keep in mind,
it
that's
is a doozy. So,
average.
again, average hold time being 29 minutes would be pretty abysmal for anything. But again, compound that to the point where only 13% of the calls were actually answered.
It's a problem. That means that most people 90% of people just gave up rather than getting an answer.
Or like they've been on hold for an hour and a half and then the office just closes. That's happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah. So the IRS is
they still have a backlog of 9 million tax returns that need to be processed.
it is an unmitigated disaster. And frankly, it is not anyone at the IRS's fault. There is so much misdirected hatred towards IRS agents, and it is just completely misplaced.
Yeah, I think that when you look at this, the fact is, if you are an average taxpayer, your risk of being audited is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Almost non-existent. Okay, it's very, very unlikely. The problem is, if you are an average taxpayer, you also often might have questions about the status of a refund.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I received this check. I had an example where I miscalculated my taxes to the upside one year, where I paid more than I should have because I had a math error. And the IRS actually sent me a check, and I was like, this feels like a scam because I wasn't expecting the IRS to send me money, and so I had to call them. I had to wait 45 minutes in order to talk to someone, and they were actually very helpful.
Oh, there you go.
Are we on hold with them right now?
There's no way this is the IRS's hold music.
Isn't this what they used to play on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It kind of sounds
No.
like that.
It's similar, but no, this is kind of like a staple
Yeah,
hold
it's
music.
a universal hold music right there. But yeah, they are facing an abundance of issues, and once again, there is a desire to squeeze them and defund the IRS. And look, we can have all sorts of debates, but the fact of the matter is that the IRS needs funding to perform some very basic functions, such as actually getting through paper tax returns. It is,
Yes.
if we're going to weigh the seriousness of the issues of the likelihood of being audited more versus just being able to process tax refunds in a timely fashion, I have to prioritize the latter over the former.
Right. If you want to tell me, hey, we should just move to a value-added tax and not have to file tax returns because that's easier, I'm entirely on board. Let's do it. But
Have a debate around what the taxes are rather than trying to defund the enforcement agency.
Right. Again, if you're defunding the enforcement agency, then you're basically saying, okay, the place that you can actually get the money from, which is wealthy people avoiding taxes through illegal measures, all you're doing is penalizing everyone else because then you have to raise tax rates for the people who do actually comply by the tax code.
Yeah. Again, I'm happy to have a debate about taxes being too high or one party versus another wanting to tax the wrong people at the wrong time at a too high of a rate. I have been heavily critical of Massachusetts and the way in which we set up taxes. But going about it by defunding the IRS is about as dumb as it gets.
Then people just can't get their refunds, and then they're upset at the IRS.
Or perform basic business functions.
Also true. Yeah.
Trying to get a new tax ID number for a business, attempting to do a name change with the IRS. Like, all of these are basic functions that should be doable in 2023, and none of them are possible because of the severe lack of funding and investment at a government agency. So, again, plenty of blame to go around, but probably not towards the person working for the IRS.